Hey, good morning everybody. John Bergsman here from Fisherman's Digest, joined by Captain Jason Graham from Send It Charters here on Saginaw Bay. And we're out here early season, like what, 17th, 18th of April today?
Yeah, it's the 18th, yep.
Late April, and we're gonna show you an awesome early season bite that Jason's been all over. Now, Jason spends his entire charter season right here on Saginaw Bay, and that's important. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a great day on the water here in the Great Lakes Bay region with Send It Charters. Here today, John Bergsman, hey, with Jason Graham from Send It Charters here on Saginaw Bay, and today we're going to show you an awesome show of just early season walleye. And also Jason's got an awesome way of setting up his board if you like to use braid or fire line, things like that. It's a great system that you use on the offshore trolling board to make it so that you can pop your boards. And when, you'll see today on that spread right there, 6 boards a side, and that can become a problem when you're getting a bite. You don't want it to be all tangled up with your other boards, and so this system that we're going to show you today is a great way to do it. It's something you should consider doing. It's a great modification to the offshore board, and quite frankly, it'll just put a lot more walleye in the boat. First fish of the day.
Nice job, nice job.
Hey, that's what you can catch right here at Saginaw Bay early. Everybody else is messing around the Detroit River. Jason and Send It Charters, not so. We're gonna stay right here at Saginaw, right?
That's right.
We're using our contour colors to identify where the bite zone is here on Saginaw Bay. We've got a little pocket right here of deeper water where the white is, surrounded by the green. And what we're doing is we're just skipping and skirting up against that deeper water. These fish have come out of the river, which is over here, and they're staging in this deeper water. And so what we're doing is basically just circling the wagons here today, bumping into the deep water and then back to a little bit shallower ledge. And we're finding that those fish are holding right along the green-white edge, right there where that deeper water starts. So that's gonna be our plan of attack today, is to attack that edge right where the green and the white touch. We're using a braided line today and a specialty release that we talked about earlier, and we'll show you throughout the whole show that release. But you get the ability, as Brett will show you as this board comes in my prop wash right here, that board's coming in, it's already been popped and released, and so it's offering no resistance whatsoever. A lot of times with mono, you're gonna bring that board in just the normal way. And this right here, it's been popped, and so we can clear a spread. And the reason that's important today is that we're fishing 6 lines a side. And we've got 4 guys in the boat. Got my editor Chase today, who's gonna enjoy some fishing with us. And of course, Brett, the cameraman, and myself and Jason. But we wanna be able to pop those boards and let them fall backwards. And that will give us the ability to fish a lot more lines per side without risking tangles. It's gonna be a nice fish right here, boy. Coming up to prop wash. Oh, beautiful walleye, Jason. Captain Jason's been on these class of fish right there, and he'll hold that up while I get to the other rod for it. But man, oh man, that is an awesome class of fish right there. Oh, this is a fighting fish. Not even sure it's a walleye. Sometimes too many head shakes isn't a good thing. But boy, I tell you what, this is a spunky fish. Now, of course, we are here in late April, so they got a little oomph to them.
They got a little spunk, yeah. They're going up post spawn, putting the feed bag on, filling their bellies.
Yep.
Get back here and swap and get that board off.
One of the biggest things, guys, when you're reeling in these walleyes, you notice Jason went and took that board off, and I kept the tension on the second he released that line. I was lifting that rod tip and maintaining the tension. Look at that beautiful walleye back there on the surface. Beautiful.
These fish seem to be a little better than average. They got big fat bellies on them. They're putting the feed on. A lot of these fish are post-spawn right now. The males have done their thing with the females. They've got the hatch going started. They come out here and they got to feed. These fish are hungry now. You know, they did their mating. Now it's time to feed. Oh, you're eating shad, eating a perch. You look, bait I got here is actually a perch imitation. It's got perch scales on it. That's what they're after. They're putting the feed bag on.
Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Angler Qwest, built with purpose. Traxstech, the ultimate fishing system. Strike King, tie one on. Garmin.
So what we got going on here is we've got a fish on the boat, on the board. What we got going on is the line is no stretch on it, okay? So what happens is when you use braid and no stretch, there's no give to that fish. All you're doing is wearing a hole in its mouth. So what you want to do is just a steady retrieve, no pumping the rod, let the drag work if it needs to. Just do a steady retrieve, no herky-jerky, just a constant retrieve is all you got to do.
Oh, it's a beautiful fish, Jace. I'll tell you what, that fish hit on the outside at 2.3 miles an hour. 2.3 on the outside is probably closer to 3.5 speed, wouldn't you say?
I would say. So what that tells you is these fish want a little faster presentation today. So worry about your speed. Make sure your speed is, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. When you catch a fish on outside board, adjust your speed a little bit, try it. If it doesn't work, you can always slow back down.
Inside board, inside, look at that board jerking right there, see that? One's falling back, it's beautiful.
So right there, we actually slowed down to net that fish. So
Yeah.
we're actually going slower now and took another bite. So on the same side of the boat, we caught one going fast, we got one going slow. So sometimes the erratic action of that bait will trigger a bite.
And that's why turning, Jace, sometimes guys, I see them be guilty of just basically being lazy trollers, just trolling straight downwind all day. That is absolutely the worst thing you can possibly do unless you're just beating the heck out of them, correct?
That's correct.
Because you want to be able to trigger fish. Trolling can be a lot of fun if you're willing to work.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Hold that one up, Jay. Look at the way he T-boned that bait, Jay.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
He had the whole thing inhaled. So when you got the right bite on, and that bait is inhaled like that, not just a lip hook, he had both hooks in his mouth. He was eating that bait.
Just gonna be a mess trying to negotiate. When you're trolling, guys, that's one of the other things. When you're trying to decide where to go, I mean, use some common sense. Just lift your chin up and look around you and kind of make an evaluation, because not only is there a lot of boats that I would have to contend with over there, there's probably going to be a lot less fish left to catch once I get there, because all those boats aren't not catching anything. Some of them are catching fish, diminishing the size of the school. So when I look north here, I see only 3 or 4 boats. My chances of being able to encounter fresh fish or unmolested fish is much better. So my decision, of course, is I'm going to go ahead and turn that way, because I don't have to work as hard avoiding people, and there's probably going to be a bigger number of uncaught fish out there as well. We've got a specialized screen here that I like to set up my Garmin's with, and what I've got is a Reactor 40 autopilot on our Angler Qwest 24. Now, here's my autopilot screen. Here's my fishing chart screen with all of my waypoints and contours. We just had a double back there on that. Here's my sonar screen. So it's a customized screen that I simply set up. And the beautiful thing right now that I have going for me is if I had to try to navigate by hand and try to catch fish when we only have a couple guys in the boat, it would be extremely hard to do that without my Reactor 40. It's like a set it and forget it unit. I touch my heading hold and it locks me right on that bearing, and it does all the steering for me. I don't have to concentrate on the steering at all, whether I'm setting lines or catching fish or netting a fish, as is going on right now. Brett, swing back there. While I was talking and doing that segment, Captain Jason was catching a fish. And this is the beauty right now of the Reactor 40. I'm still talking, I'm right here, hi. The boat is being steered by my Garmin. That's the beautiful thing of the autopilot system, whether it's a small boat or whether it's a pontoon like we're fishing here today. We're not interrupted. We don't have to scramble around because the boat and control of the boat is perfect with our autopilot system. And ooh, looks like you got a nice fish going, Jace. You got a dandy. I like it. We're gonna let the captain catch him. I'm gonna do the netting on this. Beautiful fish. He's right in the prop wash. I just saw him. Coming right up on that beautiful Saginaw Bay green water, barely hooked. We're gonna stab at him. Well, we're gonna show you why going out with Jason from Send It Charters can be a really fun day on the water. Another beautiful fish. Awesome job.
Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Polarcraft, the toughest built aluminum boats, bar none. Dreamweaver, home of the revolutionary Spin Doctor. Lose, feel the difference. WavePro, best ride on the water.
Hey guys, Captain Jason Graham here from Send It Charters. I got an option for you if you want to run braided line with your offshore planer boards. A couple changes I make are the releases. I want an OR39, which is a Sam's Pro release, offshore tackle offers. I also put an OR18 on the back so it clips shut. Okay, this is the option you use to run braided lines, doesn't slip like you do with the pinch clips. Okay, let me show you how I rig this. Okay, get the bait in the water, your desired depth. I put it in this little crotch back here so that way the line doesn't get caught on the nuts and bolts of the release. Lay it in here, tighten it up, then I do 5 wraps. It does matter which way you wrap this, okay? If you want the board to all run the same, make sure your wrap's the correct way. What I found is the best way to do it is have the release, the line on the outside of the release, just like the flag. So when you wrap this, put 5 wraps on it, and then you shut it. What you have now is created the same line. Your line is actually coming up the top of the release, okay? So all your boards will run the same. They'll all track true on the same side of the boat. As the lure's tracking behind the boat, you take your braided line and you put it deep in the OR18 clip here, okay? Pinch that shut. If you don't want a tattle flag, no slack is needed. If you want a tattle flag, you have to make sure you have enough slack to make that tattle flag work, okay? As you deploy that board in the water, make sure this line does not get wrapped around this little finger that sticks out. If it does, your boards will not track the same. Have it come out the same, off the top. Easily, just gently put that board in the water. As you put that board in the water, it'll track to the side and you're all set. When you get a strike with braided line, you can actually just take that tip, slightly jerk the tip, and what will happen is this release will unwrap, will open up, the line comes out free, and all I do is hanging by the back release. Okay? Get the fish coming to the boat, clip the release, you're free.
Beautiful, beautiful Saginaw Bay fish here. Boom, look at that. Look at that, I'll show you this fish because he's up in the top of the net. But that fish definitely hit nice and hard. Awesome, awesome fish in the sunlight. Let's put this girl into the live well. We've got our 10, and that right there is a basket full of Saginaw Bay gold. All right, well, we're here. We're kind of 2/3 of the way through the day. We've been having an awesome day, as you saw those last few fish jumping in the boat. We're gonna take just a second to tell you what we're doing here. Jace, this looks like a number 7 flicker shad.
Number 7 flicker shad, and this is a number 9 flicker minnow.
These have been the 2 killer baits that we've been doing today. Now, one of the things to remember is once you identify the program, and today this has been 90 back and this has been 40 back,
That's
correct? And once you identify the program, why do you might ask, why do you put 2 different styles of bait out? Because you really don't know when you enter each day which action, right?
Exactly. You know, you have sometimes the mornings are better, sometimes the afternoons are better, sometimes one only hits one way and one the other. It doesn't seem to, they don't seem to know what they really want.
Exactly, and so by putting a couple different baits out at varying depths will always give you the best of both worlds. You'll be able to identify, is it the action or is it the depth? And once you figure out a depth and an action, or like we did today, we caught the first fish on this, the second fish on that, we left both baits out all day, and as you can see by what we're putting in the live well, it's been the right choice, Jason.
It's the very right choice, yeah.
All right, hey, stay with us. We'll be right back with more fish here from Fisherman's Digest.
Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Offshore Tackle Products, Flo-Fast, world's leading portable fluid transfer system, Drotto, catch and release boat system.
We were talking about that whole group of boats right there, and Jason and I both said, let's just keep this troll going away from the pack, because we both had this feeling that the fish have been pushed. When you're out Great Lakes trolling and you're in a big cluster of boats and the bite dies, the bite might not have died. What might have happened is the fish got pushed sideways. They don't all swim down. A lot of times they swim away from the boat pressure. So you're gonna have to expand those circles. You're gonna have to be willing to leave yesterday's memories and GPS coordinates, go find a new unmolested group of fish, and reestablish whatever pattern you had yesterday at a different geographic location. It might be a 1/4 mile outside where the pack is turning. That's where those fish might have gone. Look at the size of this fish, guys. Fish is off in the net. Golly, golly, golly. Send it charters, buddy, Saginaw Bay. That is having it. And this is what happens when you just grind. The fish hasn't been fast and furious by any means today.
You get a bite every 20 minutes, every 15 minutes. You might go a half hour, but then you catch 2 or 3 right in a row. Just the way it goes. You find that pot of fish, stick with them.
Hey, you know, when you consider coming to the Saginaw Bay area in the greater Great Lakes Bay region, there's just all kinds of things to consider for species. First of all, there's the walleye fishing. It's the premier walleye fishery in the state of Michigan, without question. It also has some of the most unbelievable smallmouth fishing, largemouth bass fishing, as well as perch fishing. You know, Captain Jason from Send It Charters is an expert fisherman, been fishing here for years, chartering, and he can put you on the fish both spring, summer, and fall. You know, his primary target species is walleye, and one of the things I love about his service particularly is that he doesn't, you know, bail on the bay. He knows it in all 3 seasons of the year, and he can put you on an awesome walleye bite and a great experience here in Saginaw Bay. Now, we talked about the other species. If you're a bass fisherman, the area on the west shore, both north and south of Linwood Beach Road, and the Linwood Marina Campground have got great cabbage. There's also a lot of rock up by the Greater Charity Islands area in Au Gres, and this is some of the best habitat for the greenbacks. The largemouths spend their time in the weeds, and the smallmouths spend their time out on the rocks in the outer part of the bay. But this is a very underrated fishery when it comes to bass fishing. And year-round, the perch fishing here can be phenomenal. Now, a lot of people don't understand that perch fishing starts immediately after ice out. The perch come in and they migrate into the cuts, the canals, and the marinas, and they're really accessible even by small boat fishermen. They mill around throughout the bay throughout the summertime, and they do the same thing in the fall as they come back in tight to shore. So if you're big into perch fishing, Saginaw Bay is one of the best spots to really wet your line and catch a great limit of fish. But in the end, no matter what species you choose, Saginaw Bay is a great choice, spring, summer, and fall. Hey guys, thanks for joining us here on today's show. Saginaw Bay Gold, compliments of Jason Graham and Send It Charters. Hey, get a hold of my friend Jason. Get your spring, summer, or fall charter right here on Saginaw Bay. And thanks as always for joining us here on Fisherman's Digest. We'll see you next week.
Closed captioning is brought to you by WavePro. Best ride on the water. Online at waveproshock.com.